ウクライナから、キーウから日本に来られた経緯を教えていただきたいんですけども。
My company moved most of the staff to Spain, so we moved before the war from Kyiv to Barcelona. 1 week before the war.
1 week before.
Yeah, yeah.
So
because situation was already difficult in the country, in Ukraine. Many countries moved their embassy from Kyiv to Lviv, to another city.
Not many countries' embassy
moved their staff, and because they are told like, okay, there is some bad situation, something is going on, something bad can happen. War, it could be a war.
Right.
They told openly. U.S., America was the first country which told like Russia can attack. So it was officially open announcement.
The official announcement.
Yeah, but it was not only 1 week before. Actually, we heard such news, some bad, some gossips, or something from European countries that Russia is acting very strange.
Right.
So they, for example, before the war, Russia moved their military.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah,
to the border.
To the border.
Yeah.
But it was not only before the war. It was like last year, during December. Yeah, they also tried to, because they don't want to attack, when we are prepared. So they did this one movement of the military to the border several times, and everybody was already December, February. So there were several and they told we are. That's our military practice, let's say.
Yeah? Right.
That's, and everybody was like, okay. So, but that time, 1 week before the war, so everybody, previously everyone just talked about that and did nothing. But when countries start moving their stuff,
like embassies, their moving
from Kyiv,
right.
That's not only talking,
right.
That was action.
Okay.
And that's why our company decided to move from Kyiv to Spain. Yeah.
Okay. So the many embassies moved to from Kyiv to west side, right?
Yeah.
So your company found out it was used to in rumor, but how your company decided to move to Spain?
Yeah. So I just want to say that many people already saw that something is going on, and also my company just try to imagine, so if the war came, so what should we do in this case? And we understood that for our company it would be really bad if we stay in Ukraine and the war came. So we had money to move to Spain, and just on Friday embassies started to move to the west of Ukraine, and Wednesday next week most of our people from our company came to Barcelona. It was really fast, so we understood this and we make this movement very, very fast, and that was 1 week before the war. So we stood in Barcelona all this time, and then war came and everybody was shocked. Not only people in Ukraine, but we are in Barcelona also. And then we understood, we need to stay more in Spain, because at the beginning we moved for several weeks. But then we understood, what should we do? And we rented apartment with our families. So we moved not only company people, but also someone brought families. And like me and my wife, we rented apartment in Spain. We moved from Barcelona to smaller city, small town nearby, and then we stayed there almost 3 months, less than 3 months, in Spain. And then from Spain, after this program from Nippon Foundation started, and my sister invited us to come to Japan. We came from Barcelona to Tokyo, and from Tokyo to Nagoya and Yokkaichi.
Okay. So at that time, so many companies moved to the other country, to the Europe country, or just only like few companies moved?
As only companies who can move before the war, because after the war started,
Right, you can't.
it's forbidden to move out for male citizen.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can't move out to your Ukraine country after war begins. So like we've heard like the age of 18 to 60 years old, you are not allowed to leave Ukraine.
Yeah.
And do you feel guilty about coming to Japan?
Yeah. I understand the question.
I'm sorry, like, this is kind of like
Yeah. I know. Yeah,
sensitive question, but you know.
That's a quite common question for many people, especially who moved like we are, and we discussed a lot this with my co-workers when we were in Spain. So everyone at the beginning, especially, we felt like guilty in some way. So like why we moved and other people stay in Ukraine, but then government, even like our President Zelensky and other people, told that if you can't support Ukraine from abroad, like you should work, and you can donate, you can pay taxes in Ukraine, and it's good for Ukraine. It's better for Ukraine than if you just stay in Ukraine and cannot do this, like support. And also they told like there are enough people for now who are in the army, and so for us it was like, anyway, still many people who left Ukraine feel this like emotionally unstable, feel this unstable feelings, but yeah, it's like we want even like to stop everything. Sometimes if it's very hard and you see a lot of problems, you just want to go back to Ukraine, go home, you know. And many people told like, don't do that. So you can come back anytime, yeah. But if you come back, you cannot move out once again. So many people like try to move. So now it's even easier. For example, there is some program by government. So if you have business and you need to move for some conference or maybe signing contract abroad, so it's possible. You need just apply and you can move out and can go back to Ukraine.
Okay.
So now it's like this. But also, but still, it's not allowed. Like easily move out for male. And yeah, I have actually a lot of feelings about this one. From like losing my house, losing my country, losing my friends. Like, of course, I had many friends, and we met and we have had a lot of good time together. But nowadays it's tough because we can contact by online. We can contact and have some calls and so on. But anyway, I feel myself not very comfortable to speak to them, and sometimes people can't understand each other. Because if I say, oh, I have a problem here in Japan, because I cannot speak Japanese, and sometimes like my wife can like maybe cry because of that, because very simple situation, you go to supermarket, you want to buy some food, and you try to understand like if it's good or not for you, and you can't, and you tried many times, and it's very simple stuff, but you can't, and you can be really disappointed, you can be sad, but at the same time you understand, but come on, in Ukraine people can die, and they cannot move to another part because of some reason, and that's really tough situation. And you compare this one, but and you say, oh, I don't need to be sad because of like Japanese language, but anyway, still you feel this some difficulties, and that's the problem that some psychologists even told. You should still be alive, even you are abroad. You should not put your emotion down, press your emotion down. You should sometimes feel some good emotions. For example, if I went to see the ocean, to see the sea, seaside, and I cannot feel a good emotion from the nature, because I see this good nice view, but I'm not smiling because I feel like, oh, can I really feel something good? Because how can I feel good while at the same time people suffer in Ukraine? And I press my good emotion down. And if I have bad emotion at the same time for some difficulties, I also I put my emotion down, like it's not so bad, you should not cry, like you are not dying, you are safe in Japan. But also, and it's like psychological not right, because that could produce more problems in my body, even in my brain. It's a mental disease, some kind of. So still, there are some people who help, with some volunteers, some psychologists, so you can call and you can talk to them, even in Japan. So there's a special organization, some volunteers, and you can call to Ukraine, for example, online, and you can talk about such problems. But for me, for example, as a man, I do not really like to talk about my problems to someone. I used to talk to my friends, like we can go to the bar, maybe drink some beer and complain about. It's very good to have some professional support from psychologists, volunteers, and so on. But I don't used to do that, and it's not good. Like from my mental state, You have me now. We can talk with you. That's why. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Because I can talk to you. Share, just talk. That helps a lot. Good. And that's the same for other people, for Ukrainians, for example, who came to Japan, because I made the statistics about people, Ukrainians in Japan. And it's like 1,700 people came to Japan from Ukraine during the war, evacuee people. And there are 1,900 people, almost half, the same amount, were before the war here. So these people who came, like we are, to Japan, of course I have my sister, but now we live separately, and we don't speak too much to each other. So I would say we are live alone with my wife, and we talk mostly to our parents to support them. Sometimes we have calls with our friends, but also not every day, not every week even, like maybe once a month. Maybe many people like this in Japan living somewhere not in Tokyo, because in Tokyo, in Osaka, Nagoya, there are many Ukrainians, so they can gather together, speak to each other. We don't have such opportunity. So once we went to Tokyo and we met some Ukrainian people there, and we were so happy to meet them, like to speak Ukrainian language to real people, new people, and we became friends for 1 hour, like really. Then I can still chat with this guy, like, and ask him, how are you, like, just we spent 1 hour together, you know.
Because the same situation, you understand each other.
Yeah. So I mean, this tough time make Ukrainians more closer nowadays.
Yes,
so we maybe before the war, if you go to some other country, you met some Ukrainian, you can say, wow, great, we met in Japan, so such a nice, maybe you can say some words, maybe you can add on Facebook, each other on Facebook, but you will not
see you
like,
later.
See you later, But nowadays you always try to like ask, how did you come here, like, how are you, like, what is your, like...
You can share your problems too.
Wow. So that's why back into our main question, like how do I feel about this? I have many feelings, mixed feelings, good and bad. So the main one, I'm safe with my wife together. It's very important because many Ukrainian moved after the war, and the family is separated. The man is staying in Ukraine, and the female part, like wife with children, maybe they moved, and the family is separated. It's bad. In our case, we are very happy that first we are together with my wife, and another one that we are safe in Japan. Yeah, because some families, like nowadays in Europe, for example, in Germany, I know some friends of mine, they told like, it's like more difficult to stay in Europe. It's like for some reason, many Ukrainians, some people want to go back to Ukraine because no money, for example, no support or something. Here, of course, we made a long trip, but we are safe, we are together. From another part, it's in Europe you can speak to other native people using English language. Here I can talk to you and several other people, so we don't have opportunity to socialize. So it's difficult in Japan.
Language barrier,
The language barrier, and of course the main one for me, I could not find a job because of the language once again. So I have very nice experience in IT company, and I would like to share this experience with Japanese companies, and I don't ask like higher salary or something. I just want to find a job, but it's difficult because of the language, and also living in Japan is more difficult like in Europe because of once again on language, culture difference, like so, and some problems, like I tried to get the driver license. Oh my god, I spent so much time, and it's really tough. So, and all the time we have this emotional unstable state. So it's good, no, it's bad. It's bad, oh no, it's good. And like every day, you know. Like this. So, but at the beginning it was more like, I would say, more higher levels. Now it's more like lower. Very. So we used to live in Japan, but the job for me, finding it because I'm a workaholic. I would like to work a lot. So for me, I'm suffering like I'm useless. Oh, I don't have a job. I don't have money, and like that's why like a man, I feel myself very bad. Comparing like with my wife, she's like more relaxed, and she told me like every day, like, come on, Artem, everything will be fine. You'll find a job. like we are unsafe, think about that, you know. But when you stay more than 3 months already in a safe place, you are not thinking, oh, it's so good here because it's safe. You're used to that situation. Yeah, it's safe, but I don't have job. That's the main problem.
Go back to kind of reality right now.
Yeah, you're thinking only about the bad thing. Of course, at the same time, like we read news every day, and if something bad happened, like and this one, and this one, and sometimes like something good happened, like in Ukraine, like and like wow, that's great. But it's once again, it's very short emotional state. It's good and bad, but no job. It's all the time. I feel it all the time. Like waking up, going to bed. So that's, let's say, for now, the main difficulties.
Thank you for sharing your feelings.